than speakers. Speakers love a full front row. So what I've done is on the front row seats, I've put one of my business cards. If you come down and take a front row seat and take a business card, don't go stealing it. You have to come and sit in the front, take a selfie, post it on LinkedIn, tag me in. You could also win by the end of today. I've brought with me a packet of Storyteller Tactics cards. Yes, all you need to do is come down the front row, pick up the business card, take a selfie, tag me on LinkedIn with that photograph. Don't go pinching, I saw you. Okay, take a selfie, and by the end of today, somebody will win the pack of Storyteller Tactics. Thank you for filling up the front row. Okay, now, I'm going to ask the question in a moment. I'm going to ask you to put your hands up if you believe in spirits. But before I do that, I'm aware of the context, the room that I'm in. I'm reading the room. So, this is Estonia. Estonia is, according to surveys, one of the least religious countries in the world. This is a conference full of business leaders, strategic thinkers, and design professionals. So you're a pretty serious bunch. So, with that in mind, put your hand up if you believe in spirits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, 6, 7 people in the room are willing to admit in this setting that yes, they believe in spirits. Spirits can be in things, I think. My job now is to persuade the other 300 people in the room that not only do spirits exist, but you can design them. You can design them into the things that you make. So, I'm going to try and persuade you. The simplest way, as Yama was saying, when things are working okay, like my clicker is working okay, I hope, when things are working okay, we don't even notice them. When things don't work, it's like they're conspiring against us. Here's a clip. This guy, John Cleese, English actor, playing Basil Fawlty, who's a very angry man, and he's an angry man in a hurry.
Right! Well, don't say I haven't warned you!
And his car is broken down.
Time and time again! Right! Well, this is it! I'm gonna give you a damn good thrashing!
So come on, be honest. How many of you have ever felt that way about a machine that let you down? Yeah, now, because when the machine is working, it's like a helpful friend. When the car breaks down when you need it, it's like a dangerous, treacherous enemy. It's got a spirit inside. Now, what I'm going to do, because I know designers like categories, they like to organize things. So what I've done is I've organized what I think are the sources of animating spirits, and I've organized them into 3s, because I like 3s. So we can look at the spirits of animals, we can connect with the spirits of elements, and we can connect with the spirits of archetypes. So I'm going to work through these. Let's start out with animals. Now, Joseph Campbell said, animals were man's very first teacher. We learned by watching animals. All the cave paintings in the world ever been discovered, about 80% of them are animals. There's not any selfies. This, by the way, is the oldest thing we've ever discovered that's designed, that's not a tool, like an arrowhead or an axe. This is the oldest designed object in the world that isn't a tool. It's a sculpture of, it's half a lion at the top, half a man at the bottom. And the archaeologists who found this in Germany, I think it's about 30,000 years old, and the person who held this object wanted the power of the lion inside him. It's a him, you can tell from the lower half, it's a him. Okay, he wanted the power of the lion. He was taking the power of the lion. Now, I didn't realize until I came here a couple of years ago, and I went to Saaremaa Island as part of a tourism conference. Saaremaa was the home of the last Vikings in Europe. Yeah, the last pagan Vikings were in Saaremaa Island. So, okay, what did the Vikings carve on the front of their ship? They carved a dragon's head, or a sea wolf, because this was going to protect them from the evil spirits of the sea. So the spirit of courage, the power of the lion, the power of the dragon, they were channeling those spirits. So Ursula von der Leyen said Ukraine should be like a steel porcupine when facing aggression from Russia. So you see, we still do it. We still rely on this symbolism of animals, because everybody knows what she meant when she said a steel porcupine. A steel porcupine is, yeah, you can attack it, but it's going to hurt. So we get it. We get it instantly because we are so close to animals and we pay such attention to animals. We are animals. So anything you do, if it's got the spirit of an animal inside it, we get it. Okay. Digital designers understand this. Evernote is the elephant who never forgets. Duolingo is the wise old owl. MailChimp is the cheeky, playful distributor of your emails. Brave is the lion who protects your privacy while you're browsing. Designers know this. Interestingly, some of the speakers on the stage know this as well. Vitaly this morning, was he channeling the wise old owl or was he channeling the playful monkey? Well, if I tell you that he was doing his slides at 9 o'clock this morning while having breakfast, he was still finishing his slides, I don't think that's the behavior of the wise old owl. It's the behavior of the cheeky monkey taking a chance. So we get it. Okay, so that's animals as a source of spirit inspiration. Let's talk about elements. So the Greeks believed that the earth was made up, the world was made up of air, fire, water, and earth. And everything was made of those elements. Now, look, on the stage here, we've got plastic plants, but they're plants. Why? Because to be close to earth makes us feel better. Go to the T1 Mall in Tallinn. The center of the mall is a huge plant growing up to the ceiling. Why? Because even in urban spaces, we need to feel close to earth. It's very powerful. People will do things to protect. They will act on these elemental forces. So, look, setting fire to a flag is one of the strongest signals you can send. These are the ice protests in America. Defending the water from an oil pipeline. People will do, they will move, they will act on these impulses. I can't breathe, the slogan of the Black Lives Matter movement. The air I need to breathe, you're denying it to me. And on a more trivial level, Katy Perry comes down from her long voyage into space. Dangerous, arduous, minutes of voyage. First thing she does, she kisses the soil. She kisses the earth. So, the elements are also a source of, we recognize a spirit of an element. We recognize it in the world, we recognize it in things as well as, Okay. Designers recognize it. Tinder is a spark that's going to set a certain kind of fire. Skype is a conversation through the air. Pipedrive is channeling a flow of new leads into your business. And Bolt, it's like lightning fast. So we get it. Designers actually do get this. They do channel it, sometimes without realizing. Okay, let's talk about archetypes. Now, I'm aware that I'm sort of straying into storytelling world, so if you're not sure what archetypes are, the simplest way to understand archetypes is an archetype is a symbolic representation of a character, a kind of character. And these are the people who we meet or become as we go through life. So everyone who's ever been in a family as a child knows that you have an innocent archetype, the little child. You have a rule maker and a caregiver. Sometimes they're the same person, sometimes they're not. Every teenager knows what it means to be a rebel, an explorer. So these are the archetypes. There are roughly a dozen of them. The way I like to think about archetypes in terms of your own motivations, we've all got them. Right? It's like you're driving in a minibus with 12 backseat drivers. And at any moment, when you're trying to decide where to go, at any moment, they can shout advice to you. Or they can stay quiet when you actually need them. And at any moment, one of them might seize the steering wheel and take you in a different direction. But they're all there. We all have them. Now, I wrote a pack of, like a sister product to go with storyteller tactics called Archetypes. And it took me about 6 months to write, but it was so informative. I actually learned a lot about myself whilst writing that deck of cards. And which archetype speaks strongly to me, and which ones don't, when perhaps they should, which is also very interesting. And the same, I think, goes for your customers. There are voices speaking to them. Sometimes they're strong. Sometimes they're quiet. They need to be stronger. It's a nice way of working out. When I wrote the deck, I also wrote an archetypes quiz that you can take, and you answer the questions, and it tells you which archetype's voice is speaking most strongly to you. So I'll give you the link for the quiz later, because here's the clever thing. You can do the quiz for yourself and discover which is your strong archetypal voice, but you can do it imagining you are your customer. Do the same quiz. Or, here's the clever bit, you can do it imagining you are your product. And your product is answering the questions. Right. So it's really interesting. Again, designers understand archetypes. Wise is the wise old person looking after your money. Adobe is the creative artist. Strava is the warrior. Yeah? Uber Eats is the slob, the companion. Look, Haribo, the jester. Spotify Discover is the explorer. So again, designers are kind of doing this already. So, another way of thinking about this, about spirit, and in order to do this, I need to do a little experiment. Okay, so everyone, just hold out, put your phones down, free up your arms, free up your hands, and very quickly cross your arms. Everybody cross your arms. Okay, now, look down and notice which hand is on top and which hand is underneath. Right? So for me, because I'm right-handed, my right hand is on top, my left. Now, cross your arms the other way. It's a little bit weird, isn't it? Okay, shake your arms out. Do it again. Cross your arms the other way. Yes, it took a while, didn't it? All right, shake them out. Do it again. Cross your arms the other way. Now, this is kind of weird. What's going on? Why am I making you do this? Well, when you do something that's routine, you don't even think about it. When you try and do it differently, you have to think about it consciously. If you were to do that now 25 times, and then wake up tomorrow and do it 25 times, thank you, you're playing along, I like you. You keep doing it, yeah? Eventually, it becomes a habit. So it goes from the prefrontal cortex, effortful thinking, goes back to the basal ganglia and becomes a habit, like autopilot. You're not even thinking about doing it, you're just crossing your arms the new way. Now, habits are really interesting because habits notice cues in the environment and they nudge you to act in a certain way, and when you act in that way, the habit gives you a little dopamine reward. Does that sound like something? That sounds to me like a little spirit sitting on your shoulder going, oh. If you get home from work tomorrow, right, and you're thinking, should I go to the gym or should I have a piece of cake? And there's a little voice saying, go to the gym, Steve, go to the gym, you need to work out. And there's another little voice saying, eat cake. You've had a long day. You deserve cake. Go on, treat yourself, Steve. When you walk around the supermarket, if that voice is there on your shoulder, that little spirit, it's the spirit of the lover, yeah, this is what you end up with a trolley like. You end up with a trolley full of that because you pick up on all the environmental cues. You pick out the cake, and the dopamine doesn't come when you eat the cake. The dopamine comes when you see the cake. Oh, I know that cake. Or in Estonia, that cake's made of moss. I'm going to eat some of that. Weird cake. The dopamine comes when you see the cue. Now, the great thing about this is when you understand that, you actually have to understand you don't beat a bad habit with facts. That everyone knows that cake is bad for you. Everyone knows that junk food is bad for them. Everyone knows that. There are no facts left on that score. You need a better voice. You need a stronger spirit making you do the right thing, because the spirit making you do the wrong thing, that's a well-established little voice in your head. Hey, here's another thing as well. Have you noticed as well, when you go around the supermarket and you're pushing your trolley and someone comes past pushing their trolley, what do? You look in their trolley. Yeah? And you go, ha-ha, someone's trying to lose weight on a health food diet. Or you go, ha-ha, it's date night for someone. Yeah? You do what I call trolley judging. You judge people by what they're buying, yes? So not only do things have spirit, they gossip about you. This is a lovely picture. This is a dating event in China. And the men have gone in before, and hanging from the trees is a printout of their online shopping history. And then the ladies come around, And they don't look at the picture or the photograph. Yeah, they look at the online shopping history. Oh, he's been buying things for his mum. Isn't that nice? Or at least I hope that dress was for his mum. He's been buying sports goods. He must be really okay. And they choose who to go on a date with based on the things they buy. That's fascinating. So when you're thinking in your business about what are the cost benefits of adopting AI, for example, should we adopt AI in our processes? Should we adopt AI in our product? You're trying to make a cost-benefit analysis. But actually the real cost-benefit analysis in your staff's mind, in your customer's mind, what's really going on is, what's the animating spirit of AI? Is it Terminator or is it Wall-E? And if you go on Maltbook, I think the jury's out on that one. I don't know. I'm hoping it's Wall-E, but I'm not so sure. But that's the real analysis. So, do you believe in spirits? I'm hoping we'll get a bit more of a response in a moment. But let's look. You might be sitting here thinking, actually, you know what, Steve? We're designers, right? We design product. Then the marketing guys come in and they put a layer of spirit on top of it. It's called branding. That's all they do. We're just making a product. It's got features, it's got benefits, it does this. I still think you're wrong. Marketing after the effect? No. Okay, so listen, here's a little test. It's a cold day. You go outside. It's very, very cold. It's Estonia. You've forgotten your jumper. You've got a nice, woolly, warm jumper. Imagine you've forgotten your jumper. It's really cold. Oh, it's so cold. I know Estonians, you can take the cold, but it's really cold. And I come up and go, would you like to borrow this jumper? Yeah, somebody else's jumper. Would you like to borrow it because you're really cold? And you go, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Steve. And then I say, it was Adolf Hitler's favorite sweater. Hands up who would, even if they were chilly, hands up if you would wear a jumper knowing it was Adolf Hitler's favorite jumper. Hands up. Brave 2 or 3 people, okay. I dry cleaned it. This is an experiment done by an American academic on the contamination theory of magic. That actually we behave as if magic is real. We behave as if things can be contaminated with a spirit of evil. That's why, okay, you might say, well, if it's really cold, I'll put the jumper on. Would you put your baby child and wrap your baby up in Hitler's favorite blanket? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. When I asked my wife this, I said, I'm going to do this experiment with Estonians. And she went, oh, that's horrible. Well, that's contamination of spirit in a thing. So listen, I asked you at the start, do you believe in spirits? Almost everybody's, no, I don't believe in spirits. No hands up. But would you wear Hitler's jumper? No. Do you believe in spirits? Well, you say you don't, but you act like you do. Now, you all know about user research. If a user tells you something, but they do the opposite, which do you believe? You believe what they do. Okay, actions speak louder than words. So you do believe in spirits. So if things have spirits, how do you design them? Not just by accident, not branding after the effect, but design into the making process. How do you design them? Well, let's go back to our 3 categories: animals, elements, archetypes. There's a thing called biomimicry, I'm sure you're aware of, which is, look, the animal inspires us. The guys have made a syringe that mimics the action of a mosquito. There's a coating on LED light bulbs that's similar to the surface of the skin on a firefly. The woodpecker's brain is cushioned against shock, and they used that same system for the black box on the aircraft. So, okay, we mimic animals. Animals inspire us, but what if animals are inside us? What if the product you made gave me the strength of a lion? Made me feel like a lion. What if the product you made allowed you to explore with the bravery of a dragon? Okay, now, let's just experiment with this. Everybody, come on, everyone on your feet, everyone stand up. So I'm going to ask you to do a thing. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and breathe in, a big breath in. Imagine you have the power of the dragon facing the open sea, sailing from Estonia. Breathe in, and then give it a big dragon roar. Ma. Oh, come on, Estonia. Your ancestors were Vikings. Your ancestors are watching you. So, okay, feel the dragon inside. Big breath in, then 1, 2, 3. Feel the dragon inside. Big breath in. 1, 2, 3. No! Woo! Sit down. Thank you, dragons. Right, so you're going to make a product. You're going to make a thing that sits in my phone, but it's animated by the spirit of the dragon. You're going to make a thing that sits in my phone, but is fire, or water, or air, or earth. You're going to make a thing that sits in my phone, but it's animated by the character of the explorer. What does that mean? What does that look like? How does it make your thing connect with your customer in a better way? I told you about the archetypes quiz that I did, and I discovered stuff about myself. One of my strongest archetypal voices is the voice of the explorer. That's me in my happy place. I'm on a bike, I'm in the wild, the sun is shining, and I'm just going as far as I can. That's me, happy me. Okay, now, it's winter. I live in Manchester. It's wet and it's cold. I can ride a bike like that for 10 hours a day. In the winter, I am stuck indoors on an exercise bike, and this is where the warrior archetype would be useful. Come on, Steve, you can do this. Come on, boom, boom, 2.5 hours on the exercise bike. Oh, this is not a strong voice for me, the warrior. 2.5 hours on an exercise bike. Oh, I'm so bored. I can't do anything about it. This doesn't drive me. It doesn't motivate me. So I did a hack. And I realized another really strong voice in my archetypal repertoire is that of the jester. So I got my favorite game on the iPad, and I put it on the handlebars of my exercise bike. Polytopia, by the way, it's brilliant. And I played the game for 2.5 hours whilst cycling. For 2.5 hours. And I would have kept going, but I thought I better stop now. So understanding my archetypal voices allowed me to hack my own behavior. And I think you can do the same. If you understand the spirit inside your product, and you understand the spirit inside your customer, and how those two things connect, okay, that becomes very interesting. You can hack behavior. So what are you asking yourself? This is the technical bit, I suppose, from a design point of view. How do you use this? There's a workshop tomorrow. There's one place left in the workshop tomorrow. We can actually go into this in a lot more detail. But as a rough guide, here's what you do. You go, okay, my product is animated by the spirit of. That's your starting sentence. Okay, my banking app is animated by the spirit of the Guardian. Or, okay, so in that case, what powers does that spirit give my product? What connection does it allow me to make to my customer? How would this spirit shape my product's interface? How does it shape the onboarding? Yeah? Interesting. What would this spirit tell me not to do? Hands, oh, okay, they're looking around the room. Some of us are old enough to remember Microsoft Clippy. Yes, the little paper clip that used to pop up and say, it looked like you're writing a letter. Can I help? And you go, for God's sake, no. That was a spirit mismatch, a misaligned spirit. It was the spirit of the sage, the wise, yeah, acting like a jester. And it just really pissed people off. So you can get it wrong, but you can also get it right. Now, this clip I'm going to show you, this only is funny if you believe a thing has spirit. Not only does the snowman have spirit, but that spirit just took revenge. Okay, so, so my question, I started at the beginning. Do you believe in spirits? Don't vote yet, because I'd like you, if you do think there's something in this, if you do think you can make things with spirit, if you do believe in spirits, get out your phones, hold up your hands. Let's see how many hands are going up. Well, there's quite a few hands going up. It's more than we started. We had 5 or 6. We've not, nearly everyone in the room has got their hands up. Yes, because you do believe in spirits. My work here is done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. I believe your storytelling was so captivating. We have no questions so far. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to ask a question? We have a microphone here as well for those. Well, while you're thinking...
Yes, down there.
Yeah. Can we get a mic over here?
Yes. Cool.
By the way, if...
Here in the center, yes.
Yes, you can stand up.
This whole conference, by the way, I think is animated by a spirit. It's animated by the spirit of discovery. Yeah, so these guys are our guides through the discovery. That's why we're all here. Yes, go on.
Steve, thank you so much. Such an inspiring talk. I'm curious, can we apply the same logic to services in our product?
Totally, because the service is a thing. Okay, it's a process. It may live in different places, but essentially it's a thing we relate to. And why not? You know, when you think about the services you find so reliable, the services that excite you, you come across a new AI interface, and it's excited you because you're going, I can do so many things with this. Well, it's a helpful, playful spirit. So yes, I think you can absolutely apply it to services.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, down here at the front.
Yes, you can stand up.
Hi, Steve. My name is Ian Karanja from Digital Explorers from Tallinn University. I wanted to ask, how do you cultivate a stronger voice and hence a stronger spirit?
A stronger spirit.
How do you cultivate one?
Well, I think the first thing to do is to try it for your product or for yourself. For your product. Yeah. Interesting, by the way, the scheme that these guys are here on is called Digital Explorers. What's the spirit? Yeah, it's the spirit of exploration. So how do you cultivate a stronger spirit? Well, the first thing I think is it's partly the feel, but you can ask yourself questions about what feels right, what doesn't feel right. The archetypes quiz that I gave the other QR code, that will take you through about 15 different questions about what you like, what you don't like, what you're comfortable with, what are you reluctant. So try that, and it'll start to tell you, look, there are maybe 1 or 2 or 3 voices that feel strong for you. Now, what's interesting is, those voices can take you too far. So do you know, of those characters, do you think you're an explorer?
Yes.
Yes. So explorers are good, because explorers go off and find new things. But you can do too much exploring, because it's only useful when you come home and you bring stuff back and say, like, let's do this. In Estonia, they were doing this. Now in Kenya, we're going to do this. If you have too much explorer, you never come home. Right? And then the people at home never get the benefit. So it's about finding that right balance between the right amount of voice, not too much, not too little, but we feel it. We all feel it at the inner level. And when someone comes to you and says, would you like to be a digital explorer? And you're going, yes, because that speaks to me.
Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to Steve.
Thank you very much, guys.
And if you have more questions, put them in Slido. He will check them out later and answer them.